hit record here and say welcome to the Success with Team call. Tonight, what I wanted to talk about actually is kind of, bring out I think the elephant in the room. I think everyone has been, enjoying summer, but also trying to make it through summer because it can be really tough when you're serious about growing a business and also stay on healthy living goals while you're in the midst of summer. So I wanted to kind of share with you guys tonight a little bit about how I keep it together over these summers, what's worked for me, and also what I'm doing right now to plan for fall. Because what happens, I find, in this business, and really in any business, is if you're not planting seeds and planning now, like what you do now is what comes to fruition in the next few months, right? And the next few months are actually some of our biggest and busiest months. It's when people get back into routine. It's when they realize, okay, it's when moms are finally have a little bit more time for themselves and parents have more time for themselves. So it's a really important time, I think, that we're on it now, we're inviting now, we're present and showing people now what we're doing. So we're who they think of when they are ready to be inspired and they're ready to kind of dive in and make those changes for them. So I kind of I'm going to share my screen here. Let me see what I did. But I called this my PowerPoint presentation here. Let's see, share my screen. Wait, can I get a thumbs up? Can you guys see that? Okay, thank you. Just bring on the fall because I am going to cover probably some of our basic stuff, but I really wanted to refresh it all for everyone because this is really what I'm doing, what I do every day. And I think that in this, we all have our own deep why, our own thing that really encourages us to kind of get out of bed and push play when we want to, or keep going when we don't want to. We all have really big goals and visions and dreams. But I think we have a similar mission along this as coaches. Our mission as coaches is for ourselves to live the most healthy and fulfilling life. And of course, to inspire and help others to do that. And we do that and we measure that through our two main goals each month, which are Hit Success Club, right? Helping three people helping inspire and getting three people started on their journey. And by helping those people achieve their goals so that they want to join our team and adding in those two people. So those are kind of our measurable goals. Our mission is to, help people live those lives, live them ourselves, inspire others, and we help others by measuring our business this way through those two key goals, hitting Success Club, adding to our team. And how do we do that, right? Because this is where I think we can lose sight in the summer and lose sight in our journey, because this is not like something that happens so quickly. Much like healthy weight loss and healthy living, it takes time, right? It takes our consistency. That's what brings success to entrepreneurship. It's slow and steady consistency. But that's a long journey for us as coaches, trying to inspire others this whole entire time, right? It can be tiring. It can take a lot out of us sometimes. So I want to start and share with you guys a reminder, first and foremost, that this whole journey in whatever you're doing right now, it all starts with you. Always. It starts with what you're doing for your fitness, what you're reading every single day to fill your own cup up and keep you motivated to get your workouts in, keep you motivated to share your message and spread it with others. So I can't emphasize enough, what I'm doing right now is really clearly understanding what my plan is for the fall. And that is not just when are my challenge groups, and we'll talk about that, but what am I doing for me from now until the end of Christmas? If I asked you right now, what program are you going to be doing in October? Do you know? You should. That's something I think you should know. That's the planning that you want to have going on right now. Maybe it'll change. That's okay. But for now, I think that you need to be really clear on what's my plan, what workouts or workout program or hybrid, what am I going to be doing at that point in time? Because it helps us to talk to other people. It helps us to stay accountable. So for me, I'll just share, right now I'm doing Country Heat. I'll be done it in a month. We just started this week. After that, I'm going to do the 3-week yoga retreat, which is launching very soon. The sneak peek will launch tomorrow. And then I will do 21-day Fix Extreme. And by that point, it'll be November and Core de Force should be launching. So that's my plan, literally from now until January. And I think it's really important that you guys are all really clear on that. Because remember, as much as again, we have this mission and we want to help people, and we're doing that through creating this business. We got to take it seriously like a business, right? You need to plan it like a CEO. If you want to be making significant income and have a successful business, you have to treat it that way. So I think I want you all to take maybe even a few minutes right now to plan that, to understand, like even just jot down some ideas. What are you thinking for your fitness so that you can kind of get that flow moving for you? And include in that your reading. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like working out is something I've fallen in love with, and talking to other people, connecting to other people, which is another thing we'll talk about tonight, is something I love. It has become second nature for me, but I still, if I let it go, I don't always get my PD in. It's where I know that I'm always my weakest. So I need to know, what is my plan? What am I planning on reading or listening to literally for the next 3 months? And sometimes something else comes in, crops up, and I think, oh, that'll be exciting. Maybe I'll do that. And I will. And so I don't think it has to be something that's set in stone unless you're that kind of person. But you should know, what are the books and audio books? What are you aspiring to right now? Buy them, have them on your desk, get them ready, or be really clear on what those are. This is all a part of our plan, right? What we're doing for this next little while. So, I wanted to throw in here when to plan it, because I don't know, I know that everyone's really busy. I think about this stuff when I'm folding laundry, when I'm walking my dog, when I am in the shower, when I'm driving. This is what I start to try to think about. It's like, what do I want to do next? Because it needs to start with you. Before you think about anything else, what are you doing for you each day to make your transformation? And it doesn't have to necessarily be a physical transformation. A lot of us have already achieved that, although some of us fall off of it and come back on again. But it still needs to be how you're showing people that you're living a healthy and fulfilling life. That's how we inspire others, right? Is by being the example for them, encouraging them to get back up when they fall off, being there when they're ready. So I'm going to look at some questions in here, but I'm literally going to give you guys 3 minutes. I want you to take, whether you take a screenshot of this or just jot down a few ideas, but like, what are the books that you're thinking of? What are the programs that you're excited about? What's coming up next on your list, so that the next time you have an opportunity to sit down and plan, you already have some of those ideas there. I think I did see a message pop up. I'm giving you a minute. I should have music here for you. Sorry, I'm going to stop share because I know I had a chat message come up. I don't know if it was me. Oh, it was Monica putting the stuff up. Okay. So let me give you a sec, and we'll move on. I should ask, does anybody already know this? Is anybody already, unmute and share? Are you pretty clear on this stuff already?
Bria, do you know when the MMA one comes out? Is it October?
They're just saying November.
Okay, perfect.
Typically, awesome. The last program of the year launches the first week of December, but they decided they're launching it in November. I can't remember what they said now, why, but yes, that's their plan.
Great.
No problem. Shima. Yes, nice one, Shima. Love that you're ready. Okay. All right. So I think that, again, like, this is something you want to occasionally think. This is how we think about our business, right? Every day. This is how we make it a part of our life. I know we have a lot of things to think about, but it's fun, right? It's always fun for me to think about, what am I going to do? How am I going to challenge myself? How am I going to fuel my mind next? And what am I doing? Okay. So the next little thing I wanted to kind of touch on before I in this process, I guess, is something that's come really clear to me lately. And that is, what kind of entrepreneur do you think we are? I think that people get really stuck thinking that we're a product entrepreneur. We sell Shakeology and fitness programs. That's what they think. But it is so far from what we are. I don't ever think of us as a product entrepreneur. I'm a service entrepreneur. We create an environment for people. We create a service for them yes, we use these tools, but it's really important, I think, that you get in your mindset right now, before we head into the fall, before you start really talking to a lot more people, that what we're doing here is not about a product. Even though the ones that we use, the tools that we use are amazing, it's really about creating an environment for people to feel safe to get started, for people to feel supported in their journey, for people to feel encouraged towards their goals. frankly, for it to be cool to be healthy. Like that's what we do for people, is we are service entrepreneurs. I'm here to help you live your healthiest and most fulfilling life. And I do that by creating a space that is good for you to come to and encouraging you along and showing you that it's possible and getting up when I fall back down. These are the things that I think are so important that we're clear of in our mind, because when we talk to people, that's what you want to be talking about. You want to talk about what this means to them, both to your prospect recruit or prospect coaches and your prospect challengers. It's about talking to them, not about even what each individual like program or product might do for them, but how this whole experience will change their life. That's how you want to think about yourself. Remember that you're here as a service entrepreneur, that we're providing a service for someone, not a product. And then the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is something actually that was a big takeaway from Summit for me. And it keeps popping up. I keep thinking about it. And it's so clear, especially this summer. And it was all about, it was Morgan Rieger who talked about this. And she talked about when you have to balance a lot, which we all do. We all wear a minimum of like 3 to 5 hats. Like really, we probably have 10, right? Mother, daughter, father, son, uncle, aunt, there's lots of hats even beyond the basic ones, but we all have like a major parent one probably. And, a lot of us have jobs outside of this. And then you have this role. There's so many things that we do. It could be parent volunteer, there's a lot of hats that we wear. But if you're going to grow a business, this needs to be a significant one. It doesn't need to be the number one, but it's got to be an important one. And she did a great job of explaining how you can still balance it all. But the way to look at it is like as a pendulum. There are little things we must do every day to keep our business going, right? Just the same way there's little things we need to do every day to like show our family we love them and care for them. But we don't always have to throw everything we are into something unless it's really needing us at that time. So if you you find in your business that doing like this solid power hour or this, 2 hours a day in your business is just not going to work right now because it's summer, because your kids are home full time, because your child needs some extra help at school and is struggling, so you need to focus on your family because your job has a more demanding season, your career job outside of this, if you have one, then you need to allow your pendulum to swing that way for a while, and that's okay. You still have bare minimums that you would need to keep up with, but it's okay to not throw all your focus into this at that time. Give your focus, let your pendulum swing to the area that it needs for the time that it needs it. And then when your business is starting to lack, then you allow it to swing back. But you can't go completely out of any of those things. You can't stop being a parent or stop going into your, career job if that's something you have other than this, or you can't stop this altogether. If these are things that you want, you need to let that pendulum swing, and that's okay. So when I was thinking about this and sharing this, because I feel like it was a really great analogy for me, because I think that has been something I've been able to use over the last 3 years, is remembering that there are times such as summer, such as Christmas holidays for me, such as family being sick or something and needing more of you, whatever that might be. There are times when you just can't give any more to your business. Like you need to just be able to do that bare minimum. And I think that's okay, because this whole idea of being a coach is supposed to give you a life, not take over your life, right? It still requires things from us. So allow that pendulum to swing. And when I was thinking about that, I realized that for me, I have kind of two lists that I actually go through each day. And we were talking about lists in the team page. But I have a no matter what list, a list that I have done every single day, no matter what travel part of the country, part of the world I've been in, no matter what holiday or anything is going on, I have a no matter what list. This is what I do every single day. It's what's kept my business alive. And so I want to show you that list now. And I want you to feel free. I'll just run through it, take a snapshot, write it down. But this is my no matter what list. And when I say no matter what, I mean, realistically, it's 5 to 6 days a week. Now, there are some things on here that I feel very strongly are 7 days a week. Obviously, I don't work out 7 days a week. I work out 6. I drink Shakeology 7 days a week. I consume personal development 7 days a week. most of the time, unless I fall off, right? That's the thing I was saying I struggle with. And I wanted to put in their national wake-up call. If you are not listening to the national wake-up call every week or listening to the recording every week, you are missing out. And I mean that like from my heart to your heart. You got to listen to that. It was huge for me, especially in the beginning. I still tune in, not because I have to, but because it has quality content. Every week I take something away from that. And it is like, it almost is amazing to me that it's free. People are giving away the knowledge that they have to help you, and it is quality content. This week's national wake up call was a Canadian coach, Rosa Friesen. Anyway, she had so many great social media tips, and I know that's where a lot of us get stuck. So anyway, national wake up call. Every day I post, and it used to be 2 times a day. Now I have got to 3 times a day. Every day. I post in all my groups, the ones that my challengers. Every day I respond to all of my emails. Every day I review my posts from the previous day so that I can see who liked and commented on it. Everything in this business ties together. You can't pick and choose. I can't pick and choose out of my no matter what list and not do all of it, because if I do, it kind of falls apart. I need to post every single day because I need those posts to be able to go and see who's watching my stuff and connect with those people and add those people to my network. So I always add 3 people to my network. I always send 3 to 5 connection messages. And these are messages that are not they're not invitations. They're just me reconnecting. So I'll go to my post from yesterday. I just did it before I got on the call. I looked through and who's on there that I haven't spoken with in the last month. And those are the people that I'm messaging. And it can be just something simple like, hey, it's so nice to see your name on one of my posts. How's your summer going? Now I do try to be a bit more pointed, and I'm like, how are your fitness goals going? If we've talked before about those things. But that is something that happens every day in my business, because that is how we grow relationships. If I hadn't done those, I would not be where I am today. I always check my coach online office. That's the COO. You have to get into that habit of checking that every day. You should know the breaking news. You should know if you have new customers, if you have success club points, if you have orders, if your team has success club points and orders. That's all in there, and it will only take you a few minutes to take a look at it. But those things should be very clear to you, knowing the numbers, knowing your business. If you want to run a significant business, you got to know it like a CEO would know their numbers. And all this stuff takes me about 30 to 45 minutes every day. So it is closer to a power hour. You can break it up, but I really do. And mine does get broken up because often I am getting kids breakfast but I wake up extra early in the summer just so I can get this done, ideally before my kids get up, so that when they come pitter-pattering down the stairs, I'm like finishing my last message and back to them. And I would just say to you, as a tip, put them in your order. Like for me, sometimes I find responding to a lot of emails is actually the part that I might avoid. So I stick that higher up on my list so that I will plow through and get it done because I know I have other things. Put the things on your list that are the hardest for you to get done fast, because like anything, when you have a workout you don't want to do, you got to get it done in the morning, because if you wait till the end of the day, you're going to come up with excuses to get through it. It's that whole eat your frog concept. So put them in an order that you can get through the hard part stuff and then breeze through the easy part stuff. Does anyone have any questions on sort of my no matter what list here? Here we go. There seem to be some. Sorry. Okay, you guys are just chatting amongst each other. Okay.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
Priya? I just wanted to say, so this month is actually the first month that I actually designed like a power hour for myself, and it's going amazing. I took your little purple list that you have, and I just kind of like wrote it all out. Like I've got my book here, and like every day is a new page. And even over just the last 2 weeks, my order has changed. It's like you were saying, like now I put the stuff that's toughest for me at the top of my page so I can get those out of the way. And all of my number stuff, like I have like add 3 to the network, like reach out to 3 new people, 5 old contacts, like whatever. And so I have my numbers and every day, and I'm just trying to get into the habit of like, no matter what, I get this done in the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm finding, and I mean with my full-time job and the kids and everything, that I was just working in power pockets, but it wasn't really focused energy. And I think that if you want to take the business to the next level, it needs to be a lot more focused.
I love that. And that you brought up so many good points there, because it's really easy for us to spend a lot of time and energy in areas that don't move us forward. And we need to stay focused. We need to stay focused on the things that help people, that connect with people, and that move us forward. Otherwise, you will get burnt out. You'll get burnt out doing all the things that feels like you're doing, spending all this time on your business, but they're not action items. So in the summer, during the time when my pendulum is not in Beachbody mode, this is what I do. I get it done. I move on. And I feel good about the fact that I've done what I need to do for my business that day. And you just have to let that go. But it's a good feeling knowing that it's there. It's done first thing in the morning and I can move on. I'm so glad that's working for you, Carla. Okay, I think I've been talking a lot because it's 5 to 9. Sorry, we'll move on. So, okay, then I have a full power hour section. So I do find that even in these weeks and months or whatever where my pendulum is not focused in my Beachbody pocket, I still need to 1 day a week, give a little bit more. And I think that's very feasible because my husband, even though he works a lot, is home on the weekend. So if it needs to be a weekend, that's when I'll do it. If I need to stay up late, that's when I'll do it. But no matter what, I don't go to bed without doing these things. This is what your business will be built on. If you cannot master this every day, you're going to have a hard time. And I just want to be real with you about that, because they're actually really simple things and you can get really good at doing them quickly. But if you don't do them at least 5 to 6 times a week, you're going to have a hard time being successful, because this is what it takes, I believe, anyway, and this is the consistency. Okay, so here's my full power hour that I wanted to give you. So once a week minimum, or when the pendulum swings. So come the fall, when I have more time and my kids are in a routine, I will do this as much as I can, this one. But on top of the previous list, so take a snapshot of this if you want. I will, create a call to action for whatever I'm inviting for. And I am always inviting for something, right? Because once a month, at least I have a challenge group. Usually twice a month, I have a challenge group going. Once a month, I've got a free group going. Once a month, you have like a sneak peek or a coach opportunity. And whether you're hosting those yourself or whether you're co-hosting them or you're putting them in my group, you need to be doing the same. You need to be always inviting for these things, right? So what I do, you could do inviting every day and tack it on in small amounts. I find it most time efficient to I'll create my call to action for whatever I'm inviting for. I make sure it goes out in a high traffic evening. And then I make sure during this power hour time, this longer time slot that I have, I'm following up with all those call to action responses. So anyone who's saying they're interested or even has clicked like on my post, I make sure that I invite every single one of per person who's previously expressed interest in a challenge group or in whatever I'm inviting to. I send them a personal message. I do kind of create a general one. I might add an extra sentence when I'm copying, pasting it to cater it to them. But I find that this is the way that works best for me, to do it in more of a mass block. I check in one-on-one with my challengers. I check in one-on-one with 2 to 3 of my team. I plan my future groups and make lists of prospects. So if I know that I have the 3-week yoga retreat coming up, I'm going to think about all the people, all my customers or all my prospects who I know like yoga. And I'm going to make that list so that when I have my next full power hour, I can start plowing through and messaging those people. I plan recognition during that time for the team, our weekly top coaches. And I share with the team and other coaches what's working and what's important in the business. And then if I happen to have more time, like when that pendulum swings, I might work on bigger projects, like revamping, a challenge group or recreating a new free group or anything that's kind of been on my mind. But it's easy to get caught up in those things, and those things are not action moving items. They're really nice twos. It's really cool to have projects that you want to do. But if you're not making this time to do these things, that'll never go anywhere. So this is my full power hour. And, does anybody have any questions on that before I move on? Hang on. That's great. So there's some great suggestions in here. So you guys should have a read through. Okay, nobody looks like they're having any questions. I've been doing. If you have questions, it would be easier if you would just. Oh, I stopped share. Sorry. If you because there's a lot of great content in our newsfeed. If you have questions, just, go ahead.
So a lot of times I have some people that
It's okay, Jamie.
Sorry, my dogs were barking. So I have people that they want to support me, but they're not interested in a program or anything. So they like my page. So I go through all my likes and it's all people like that. So then what do I do?
They like your posts or they like your business page?
Sorry, my posts.
Oh, okay. Well,
like I have certain people that they've already told me, no, I'm not interested. I'm doing something different or whatever. But they go and like my post every time just to show support.
Okay, so those people, usually what I do when I do a call to action is I go and I message everyone who likes it, even if it's people who've done that to me before. Okay. And I always say like, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. Were you just being supportive? Parentheses, thank you. Or are you interested in more info? Like, I know you were just supportive in the past, but I didn't want to miss you in case.
Okay.
I just try to, be honest. Like, I just don't want, and you never know, right? Eventually people do kind of poke around and like to know a little bit more.
Like I know a few people, they said that they're with a trainer. So I made a note to, get back in touch with them in a couple months and say like, how's that working out? It's too expensive or something. So
I think that's great. That's perfect. Like every month or so you might message them, or every couple months and be like, hey, how are your fitness goals going? And then just encourage people if they're doing well, that's what we're here for. We're on a mission to help them live this healthy life. If they found another way and it's working for them, then just show them some love and move on.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So I have a couple of little analogies I wanted to share with you guys because I don't know, for some reason I work in metaphors really well. Things stick in my mind, but I had a teacher in high school and we had this like outers club. It was called like a camping club. It was Mr. Gale if you went to my high school. Anyway, I remember we went camping in this outers club overnight in the Kawarthas here in April. So it was cold and he jumped in the lake for a quick swim at like 6 a.m. And I was thinking, are you crazy? And I remember talking to him about it. And he's like, you know what? After that plunge, nothing else is as cold. And I just think it's such a great analogy for what we do for this idea of like delayed gratification in life. Do the hard part first. I understand that not everyone's a morning person. And if you can find the mojo to do your workout later in the day, that's great. But for me, I find that if I get like, especially on the weekends, get my workout in, get my little mini power hour or my full power hour in before my day actually has to start, the rest of the day I can be so present with my family. It's like nothing else is challenging. Nothing's weighing on my mind. So get that, like eat that frog, jump in the cold lake first thing in the morning, because after that plunge that you take, everything else is going to be easier. Everything else is going to go more smoothly for you. And then the other analogy I just was thinking is like, don't let your balloon deflate. This is the biggest mistake I think that people make in the summer. And then, now we're heading into fall and it'll happen again around Christmas time. Those long like balloons that the clowns make into animals, and they're like almost impossible to blow up with your mouth. You need one of the tubes. You can actually do it. My idea here is that it takes so much effort, much like our business, to blow and get the first energy, the first little bit of bubble started in that balloon, just like your business. So why would you stop doing your power hour and stop doing these little key things? Because then it's going to deflate and you're going to have to start all over again. And it is the truth in this. If you stop altogether, especially in these first formative years as you're building your business, you actually have to start all over again. And it's harder because people saw you, wondered what you were doing, and then you disappeared and then you came back again. And it's a little bit flaky for them. It's hard for them to trust. So don't let that balloon deflate. Don't put all this effort into hitting Success Club in the first month or 2 or 3 months as a coach and then let it all like piddle away, because it's hard. These first 6 months that you're a coach, every month brings new and different challenges as an entrepreneur, but it is hard to get your business up and going. That's normal. So don't let that deflate. I really can't encourage you enough. You've got to just dive in and keep going and keep being creative and reach out to the team for help and assistance and ideas. All right, we're getting there, guys. Okay, so the next sort of step is I wanted to share in prepping for the fall is in calendar planning. Everyone is going to, I think there's no right or wrong way to do it, but right now you should be clear on when your challenge groups are that you're going to be inviting to, your free group if you're doing one, which I think you should, and your coach opportunity group that you're inviting to. Every month from now until December, if you're serious about running this as a business. You might not be ready. If you haven't hit Success Club for the last 3 months, like whether you're a new coach or maybe you haven't been ready to kind of dive in, if you haven't hit Success Club for the last 3 months, you don't need to be running these on your own. If you have hit Success Club for the last 3 months in a row, yes, you should be running these and inviting to your own coach group, because people need to see you as their leader. I don't mind if you want to invite them to mine. I will always have them. They will always be welcome. But then they'll start to see me as their leader, and you want people to see you as their leader. So don't feel like you have to run them alone. Run them with other people who are at your level. But I do encourage you to get that on the books for yourself. This is what I'm planning. Like I can look right now. So if you want to take a snapshot of this, please do. But I know September, October, November, December, exactly when my challenge groups are, when my prep week starts, which is always the first Monday of every month. And that gives me time to do a backup. If for some reason I haven't achieved my goal of helping 3 to 5 people in that first couple weeks, I have time to replan and re-invite and re-encourage more people to get back into my groups before the end of the month, right? It gives me that time. I run my free group on the 3rd Monday of every month, and I run my coach opportunity on the 4th Monday of every month. And you should be there too. You need to have something to invite people to. It's like if you build it, they will come. It might not seem it in the beginning, but if you don't put it out there, then nobody will ever have anything to come to. So buddy up with a success partner, or buddy up with someone else who is at your level and growing like you are, and do them together until you're ready to do them on your own. And of course, if you're a newer coach or you haven't been hitting Success Club consistently yet and you need more skill help with that, join mine or join your upline. Okay. Does anyone have questions on that? Because I think it's the quickest and easiest way to plan it. And I think the beauty behind that, and then I'll talk in the next slide, is now I can look at this and I can look at what's coming in the pipeline from Beachbody, like the yoga retreat and Core to Force, which is the next program launching. And I can already know what I'm going to talk about in my posts to people, right? I know that Core to Force is launching in November. So in October, when the sneak peek comes out, I can be talking about it already. I'm going to know what my challenge group is. I can be sharing that with people out there. And I can already be the example for other people about it to get them excited. You just have to stay on top of these things a little bit. Okay, let me check the chat real quick to make sure I haven't. I just started re-engaging them on the clean eating. Eric was asking my clean eating groups. It doesn't have to be I would just pick anything. I think it's an important way to share something free to people. It gives me an opportunity to connect with them. And I've had a lot of great things come out of my free groups. So even though I don't love them, or I don't know that I think they're the most valuable thing, as long as they're providing value for others, that's what I'll go for. Okay. All right, so here we go. Okay, I'm almost on my last slide here because I know we're pushing a bit late here. Okay, take advantage of what's going on. So starting in like 3 weeks, the Beachbody Health Bet is about to go on. Basically, they're saying we're going to give $1 million across whoever is willing to like put their money where their mouth is and actually work out and drink their shake. Like you don't even have to prove that you bought it through Beachbody. You just have to be in an active challenge group, which is hosted through the challenge tracker. If you don't know what this is, then make sure you go into the back office, check the FAQ, check the breaking news section. Like this is what people need. I don't know if you ever knew it, but I remember years ago being like, I wish I could just get paid to work out because then I would do it. A lot of people feel that way, and that's exactly what this is. I mean, we actually kind of get paid to be healthy. So, but this is literally like, do your workout and you're going to get some kind of money. I think that it's such a quality thing to encourage people to jump in and do it. If you have questions on it, we can talk about it. We can do more of a call, but go check out the FAQ, really understand what it is, and figure out how you're going to take this to your people, how you're going to share it with them. Because I guarantee it, that you have people in your network who would love to work out for money. Make sure you understand what the Contra Heat contest is going on, the 3-week yoga retreat, the huge promo that they announced at Summit, where 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, 22-minute hardcore, PIO, 3-day refresh are all on promotion. And that promotion is going now until Quarter Force launches. Like, that's huge. Yeah. So for 3 months, we're getting programs that are normally like $200 for way cheaper. So make sure that you're taking this to people. And the only way you know about these things is if you go into your Coach Online office and you check your breaking news and you make it an important part of what you're doing and understanding in your business. Get to know Quarter Force. Try it out when the trial comes. Plug into your business, I guess is all I'm saying. Making sure, again, if you want to build a business, you got to be in it every day. It doesn't have to be all day every day, but a little bit every day. You got to be aware. It's got to be in your mind. That's what being an entrepreneur is about. Of course, Super Saturdays. And then if you aren't on your local Facebook page, so in Toronto, there's a GTA Beachbody Coaches Facebook page. There's an Ontario Coaches Facebook page and a Canada Coaches Facebook page. I know that they have them for every province. I know that they have them all across the US. So make sure you take the time to just get into that group real quick and just join it, because a lot of great information comes in the area. And if we're not close to each other, it's going to be a great way for you to connect with more local coaches around you, get some other ideas as well. Okay. Finally, I just wanted to share something that I have had to do for myself often over the last 3 years, and that's to give myself a gut check. And I heard someone shared a little video from Gary Vee. He was the keynote speaker, and he's this very successful entrepreneur, particularly in media and social media. And he was the one that spoke at Summit. And he's talking to a girl who's an aspiring entrepreneur, just like we are, right? In the thick of it, in the hard part. And she's struggling. And the first thing he says to her is, are you losing belief? Or are you just wishing it would happen faster? If you're losing belief that this could happen for you, then that's a conversation we need to have, or you need to have with your upline, because I can promise every single one of you that you all have what it takes to be here, that you all have what it takes to be successful and more than successful and beyond. But if you're wanting this, if the issue is more that you want this to happen faster, that's the gut check you need to have, right? You need to remember that this takes patience. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And what it requires is for you to be an endurance athlete, an endurance entrepreneurs are full of endurance. They know that the efforts and the seeds that they plant today are what's going to sprout tomorrow. And if you're not planting every day, there's not going to be, seeds to reap or sow. Help me out here. Reap, right? Yeah. Tomorrow. So that is something that I have often had to say to myself, like when I don't want to do that little power hour, because there are plenty of times where I don't. I have to remind myself that if this is something I really want, if I really want to make a difference in other people's lives, I have to show up for them every single day. And I do that by doing my little mini power hour some days and by doing my bigger power hour the other days. Okay. I hope that helps, guys. Sorry, we went late and that was me chatting a lot with a lot of back and forth. Does anyone have questions? Anyone have anything I can help with before we sign off for the night and I get into chatting a little bit with the Push to Diamonds? Thank you guys for being on and listening to me babble tonight. It was a very extensive PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording.